Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Kris has just stepped into the kitchen. On today's episode, we're going to learn how to make baked spaghetti! First thing you gotta do to make baked spaghetti, get yourself some spaghetti. I don't have any. If you don't have spaghetti, then what you gotta do is use the spaghetti that you've made last night, and it's already pre-made. Yeah! From here, you grab the spaghetti and dump it into a bowl that's able to be done in the oven. We have now dumped the spaghetti into a nice pot thing to go into the oven, and we're gonna set this at, with the oven preheating, what you gotta do is find something else to make yourself not as hungry. To me, I prefer to find things that would fill me up before I actually eat. That way I'm not displeased at the end of the whole thing. So hummus and pretzels it is today. If you're trying to be fancy, and your spaghetti is not looking exactly how it should, Chef Kris has something to help with that. I say, add a little bit of your own flair to it. To me, I'm gonna put Doritos on it. If you know me, you have to know that any of the food that I eat has to have a crunch to it. That'll do. So what I've done is I've actually put my chips into a bag, and from here we're gonna crush them up. This will give that crunch and a little bit more cheesy flair to the spaghetti bake. Everybody please welcome Cooper, my assistant for droppings. Eat. Now that the Doritos are all crushed up, we're gonna drop these on top of this to make it look fancy as fuck. Fancy as fuck! The Doritos have been placed onto the spaghetti, and I do believe I had 2 or 3 more crushed than I needed to. At this point, I do not know if I need to put this lid onto this before I put it in the oven. So I put it in the oven without the lid, and we're going to do it for about 5 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, you know what that means.
Never really know why, like me.
Go!
You don't ever want to step
Go!
off that roller coaster.
Go!
All alone.
He's not coming to this, buddy.
I know a sad soul, darling. Oh,
Side note. You should know the difference between the time and the temperature at all times. So I decided to put the lid onto it just because it looks fancier, I guess. I also burnt my finger. Say no to drugs. I know it's late in the game, but I feel like it needs more cheese. All I have are cheese slices. No. Update. Finger still hurts because I burnt it. Update. It's out. That's hot. But it looks okay. Here we go. Plate. About to do this. Recycling is always good. So what we're going to do is pull this out of this from what I pulled this into this to get this out of this onto here. I lied, I got this spoon. I put some of it onto my plate. So from here, I'm going to let you know how it tastes. Believe me. Last night I also made vegetables, so I'm going to warm them up. Chef Kris tip number, I don't know. If you're trying to feel more fancy, just dump more chips on it. So I had a bite of it and it wasn't up to my expectations, so we threw it back into the oven. And I burnt myself. So there you have it. A nice meal of baked spaghetti and some vegetables that you made yesterday and added a little more taste to it. But thank you for joining us here for, what did I name this? Cooking with Chef Quack, because I just looked through the rest of the snaps and I didn't mention a name for this whole segment at all. P.S. Do not forget that you left the spaghetti in the oven to rebake.